What struck me the most there is Senator Sanders, in saying goodbye, did acknowledge that Joe Biden had an insurmountable lead, but he didn't say anything nice about Joe Biden. He did not say he'd spoken to him. He did not say he would work with him. He said it was imperative to beat President Trump, but there was no big embrace of Joe Biden. He said nicer things about Joe Biden back during some of the Democratic debates than he said in saying goodbye.
Today, I congratulate Joe Biden, a very decent man, who I will work with to move our progressive ideas forward.
It was really noteworthy that was not part of his message at all. In fact, it's funny you say that. As he was speaking, I was texting with people in and around Joe Biden asking if he had gotten a phone call because it was so glaringly absent.
At some point, if he, as he states, believes that is an existential matter to defeat President Trump, he's going to have to come forward with a more affirmative embrace of Joe Biden and make an active case to his supporters that they should also join in. I commented on this today on Twitter and was bombarded by tweets, many of which I wouldn't repeat here.
This is important as we preview what's going to happen after 2020, after I think Biden is quite likely to lose to Donald Trump because he is not cognitively up to the task, and that kind of obvious glaring thing that people are going to see on TV is just going to turn them off to him entirely. After that happens, mainstream media is going to blame Bernie Sanders supporters and Bernie Sanders himself, even though Bernie dropped out earlier than he even needed to. But he didn't kiss the ring sufficiently in his dropout video. A painful decision. Did they go after Elizabeth Warren for perhaps not being as kind to other candidates when she dropped out? It was painful for her, obviously, and I hate that she didn't endorse Bernie, but I wasn't expecting her right then when she was dropping out to be like, oh, all the other candidates I ran against, you're so wonderful. Oh, let me kiss that ring. Oh, let me bow down to you. No. But with Bernie, they'll never be satisfied no matter what he does. No matter what he does. He could grovel at the feet of Joe Biden on national television in the goddamn Superdome, and they would never be happy with it. It doesn't matter. And he dropped out earlier than he needed to. But no. He's got to bring those supporters on. Those pesky supporters who he got because he talked about how corrupt the establishment is. Now, he's going to force them to vote for a corrupt establishment guy. I'm going to vote for Joe Biden in the general election if he's the candidate against Donald Trump, which is very likely that he is unless he's replaced at the convention. And I'm going to hate to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm not going to admonish people for not doing so. What kind of privilege, what kind of arrogance do you have to have? If the candidate is not appealing to them, why would people vote for him? And this is ridiculous on its face because Bernie didn't touch Biden. Didn't touch him. He was even kinder to Biden than he was to Hillary Clinton in 2016. It was a huge strategic error, and it was written about by the great Daniel Marins of the Huffington Post, or of HuffPost, that's what it's called now, HuffPost. Great reporter who went and deep dove on why the Sanders campaign faltered in some ways. Campaign advisors, including Sanders' closest allies, pressing for him to take a more confrontational approach to Biden, succeeded in getting Sanders to go along only some of the time. For example, Sanders never once used Biden's comments to donors at a June fundraiser that, quote, nothing would fundamentally change for them under his presidency. Aides drafted language for Sanders to use in his opening statement during the first debate in June, but he never ended up using it. Sanders only fully committed to contrasting himself with Biden after Biden took decisive control of the race on Super Tuesday when he won 10 of the 14 states in contention, a moment when it was too late for Sanders to revive his fortunes. The article also talks about how Bernie didn't want to go after Biden because they were personal friends and Biden was good to him when he was in the Senate, unlike other people. Namely, it seems like Hillary Clinton and other corporate Democrats. Bernie liked that Biden was fundamentally decent to him on a personal level, so that he chose not to go after him in the more aggressive way. The thing about Bernie, why we love him and what makes us writhe in agony when he falters, I mean, at least me, obviously, if you saw my video from earlier today, Jesus, is because he's so fundamentally decent and he wouldn't do that kind of thing. But they'll still attack him for it anyway. Ugh. That's all I gotta say.